Welcome back to Recharge, the podcast where we share real stories, real strategies, real estate. I'm your host, Kaylee Wilkinson, and today I'm joined by Dennis Hall and Jody Leatherberry, two RE/MAX agents from the greater Lansing area and the balloon pilots for our regional balloon events team. From flying high over Michigan festivals to serving communities on the ground, Dennis and Jody bring passion and joy into everything that they do. Today, we'll dive into their journey, the excitement surrounding ballooning, and what it means to fly the balloon and represent RE/MAX from above. So, gentlemen, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Good morning.
of course. If you could each introduce yourselves and kind of tell me how you started with hot air ballooning.
So, you want to go first? Or you want me to go
go
first?
right ahead, Dennis. It's fine.
So my name is Dennis Hall, one of the RE/MAX pilots for Michigan. I got started back in the early 2000 era. And actually, this guy sitting right next to me was a huge part of that. He is who actually trained me to fly the balloon and was able to get my license and stuff through his training. So I owe him a lot of gratitude for that. And that kind of was my entry into balloon flying. So there's a couple different stages to balloon flying too. So you start as a student pilot, you attain a private pilot license, and then to be able to do what we do nowadays, you need a commercial license for the balloon. So that's kind of how it all fell together.
Sure. And Jody?
Yeah. Hey, good morning. Jody Leatherberry. I started ballooning back in 1984. So that was when our family owned a car dealership. And we had our 20th anniversary. My dad said to me, he says, "Hey, what are we going to do for the anniversary party?" I said, "I don't know, Dad, let's hire a balloon and give away hot dogs and get a couple clowns." So I showed up.
Sounds like a good time.
Sounds like a good time. And it ended up a real big success. And it had a very big impact on our community. So that's how I started ballooning. It was really kind of happenstance. So. And it's been a great run. I've really enjoyed my career in ballooning.
Yeah, and it sounds like you started kind of a fan and took it up as a student, became a teacher, and now you're in the commercial aspect of ballooning. So what a journey that's been, I'm sure.
Yeah. It has been. Yeah. It's been really rewarding. I mean, to see the people that I have trained excel in ballooning, whether it be competitively or commercially or just to private flights.
Yeah. How many people have you trained? Do you know?
I would say it's probably in excess of 15.
Wow.
Maybe a couple more, but
that's fascinating. So what brought you guys to the RE/MAX side of ballooning, and how did you join the RE/MAX balloon team?
Well, I think it all kind of started back when our family sold our car dealership, and I had to get a real job. So I became a real estate agent, and I looked at different companies, and I wanted to we were a Ford dealer, so I wanted to hand out my business card and have it be recognizable that I was successful at the get-go. So that's why I chose RE/MAX, because of the brand identity and the brand awareness.
Yeah.
And it happened to be that, I started with Tim Pease and Tom Burgeon in Mason.
Yep.
And Tom Burgeon owned the RE/MAX balloon program, if you will.
Yep.
And he said, "Oh yeah," he says, come to our office and you can help with the balloon program too." And I said, "Okay, great." And Tom would send me to certain places. And
now this was before you had your balloon pilot license, or was it?
No. This was after we sold the dealership.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. And so I transitioned from car dealer, balloon pilot to real estate agent, balloon pilot.
Got it.
And Tom was so gracious to say, "Hey, come on and, do this, and we'll have you help with the balloon program too, as well as being an agent." And it just kind of evolved from there. And then when Tom decided he wanted to retire and get out of the ballooning world, that's when Dennis and I kind of came in together as a team. I had trained Dennis back in 2007.
2007. Yep.
2007. And, Dennis at that time was what I called independently wealthy. And, he had a job at corporate America.
Okay.
And then that changed, and then he became very independently wealthy, and he just basically flew balloons.
Yeah.
So I teased him about that.
Yeah, of course.
But then I had egged him on to become a real estate agent, and he joined my team, and we got together and put together the current status of the balloon team.
Yeah. Dream team.
Dream team.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's right.
Does that sound accurate to you, Dennis?
Yeah, I mean, so I was in the 2007 era just looking to get into ballooning, and Jody was very well respected in the community. And I think why he says I was independently wealthy, I think he overcharged me in my training. But that's how I met him, was seeking him out to get that training, because I knew that I would, have the best knowledge starting in that industry, if I had a good trainer. So we started training in 2007. And then after that, he was already involved with the RE/MAX balloon program, and I would go and help him. So that's the part I like to talk about, is the behind the scenes of that program. The pilot shows up, that's the on stage time, that's the performance. That's what everybody sees, and it looks so easy and so on.
Easy, quick, fun,
but
exciting.
There's a lot behind the scenes,
is.
and they need help. I mean, we need help. We need crew to be there to assist us and so on, to be able to fly the balloon.
Absolutely.
And to do the other stuff. So, Jody always was looking for help. I was willing to travel and be part of that. So I got to meet a lot of the RE/MAX people prior to me actually becoming an agent, or me being involved, specifically in the contract.
Sure.
But yeah, for, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 years, I assisted him. It wasn't until 2020 when the two of us joined up together and bid on the
in
current.
COVID times.
Right.
Good
Well,
timing.
yeah, exactly.
I think we started before.
Yeah, you did. And then
we were smacked by it when it all came out.
But here we are. 5 years later, we're good to go.
Right.
So you guys have kind of, in your journey with the RE/MAX Balloon Events team, reignited some of our events. So can you tell me what events the balloon team offers and what that looks like?
Yeah, so that's the important thing to communicate about this program. I mean, I probably back in the day, it started as just a hot air balloon, just the balloon flying, which obviously is a very useful tool and very impactful in the communities it flies in. But there's much more to it that we bring to the table with our program than just the balloon flight itself. So there's, the balloon flight, yes, is kind of the foundation. We do balloon tethers, so we don't have to fly in a specific area per se. If the field or whatnot is large enough, our venue is large enough, we can just do short rides up and down on a tether system. We have parades. We've got a parade system where we set up a cold air in the basket on a trailer and drag it through. The agent or broker can decorate it with their signage and so on, or whatever the theme is for that parade.
And that's a big hit, because I see them in my hometown when it's nice and cold out, and you guys come through with the hot air burners. People get excited. They get warm. It's a good time.
Everybody loves fire. Oh. For some reason, everybody loves fire. So we put that basket out there, and we'll, if the city allows us in that parade, we'll burn the burner. And that's pretty impressive to see. I mean, a hot air balloon burner is probably one of the largest flamethrowers you'll see in life. So we got the parades, the balloon walk, which is very popular, where we inflate one of our old balloons that we can no longer fly. It just won't pass its annual inspections. And we let kids and adults just run inside it, and they can see and get a feel for how big it actually is in the sky. And they're always amazed by that. That's also part of and kind of how our school program has gone. So school programs, we show up, roughly spend 45 minutes on a slideshow presentation and answering questions of the kids and so on. And then we'll inflate that walk balloon, if possible, in a gym inside. And again, let the kids go in and the kids, talk about that for months after.
Yeah, or
those
years.
assemblies.
I mean, they will talk about that well into, if they see it in elementary, they're still talking about that in middle school when they see that balloon and a festival in their town or what have you. Like that memory sticks with them.
Yeah. So there's tons of options. And then we've got static balloon display where we could just inflate the balloon and have it on display for people to see. And also the cold air, we've got a 25-foot just cold air balloon that can be, placed in a downtown area at a festival or out in front of your office, that kind of thing. And it, that can stay there for a day or days, so.
Don't forget about the picnic.
Right. Tell us about the Max picnic.
So it's kind of evolved to the point where, when we would go to an event, we get weathered out. We couldn't fly. It was rainy. It was whatever. The wind's too much. It's too hot, whatever. And we say, what else could we do? And there was, I think it was in Canada, they had an illustration of a bounce house. We said, we got to get one of those. So we pitched it to you, right?
Yeah.
And it's a big hit.
Yeah.
It's a big hit.
Everybody loves that bounce house.
Exactly.
Kids, adults, it makes a splash in wherever you're at. That's for sure.
It does.
So, great addition.
And we added the fly guys that look like the used car lot, that, flying in the air, flying around, and feather flags, all the big trailer, even just the trailer going down the road. Yeah. People are honking. Yeah, give you the thumbs up.
Yeah, it's it's energy, it's adrenaline, it's fun, it's excitement. Yep. You're bringing this to communities all around Michigan. So,
and one of the comments that I can add, being in the business 40 years of flying, I've seen so many people that start out really little, that turn into actual house buyers and house sellers. And I was at a balloon walk the other day, and someone was kind of like, "Oh yeah, look at these little kids, little rugrats running through here." No, those are our potential clients down the road.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I've been in this 40 years. I have witnessed people coming into a balloon walk, a school program, just watching at a festival. And those people are the ones that are buying and selling houses now.
Truly. And, to share a story that I had, and Dennis, I shared this with you. Over the summer, we had Field of Flight in Battle Creek, and I was very hands-on with crewing for Dennis and his team.
I appreciated that.
Yeah, anytime. The kids loved it. My husband loved it. It's a good time for everybody. But I was there almost every flight. And it was a very successful event where we got a lot of launches and a lot of exposure for RE/MAX. So a great event overall. But when we touch down and we land, it brings people are coming in their cars, vans full of people that just want to check it out and see the excitement for themselves. And I invited them to help us pack up the balloon and shared our experiences about the RE/MAX balloon, kind of marketed RE/MAX in and of itself. And for 4 days after the event had gone through, I was out in public with my kids. And every time I was out in public, I got stopped by somebody that's saying, "Hey, you're from RE/MAX. You were at that balloon and it was a great time. We remember you." Mind you, I was with my kids in regular clothes. The exposure that the balloon program has to communities to make an impact is just unmatched by any other brand. And it's a special thing that you guys do to bring the balloon team to different communities that we serve around Michigan. So you're doing a great job. We appreciate you at the region for what you do. And for those that have not been up in a hot air balloon, can you kind of tell us what that feeling is like to fly in a hot air balloon?
Yeah, I think the best description of, if it's done right, is almost dreamlike. It's hard to describe unless you've experienced it, but you're literally floating in the sky. There's no turbulence. There's no bump. There's very little wind because you're traveling with that air mass. And it's almost just like calm and serene, and you can hear people on the ground yelling hello to you, and dogs barking and cars honking, and all the busyness of the world is going on down below, and you're up there, and it's just quiet and calm and relaxing. So it's something that I think everybody should experience at least once in their life, and I think a lot of people have that on their bucket list. So
I always say that there's a million people that want to go for a balloon flight.
Sure.
And there's maybe 2,000 people like Dennis and I that can really take them.
Yeah.
So they're really fortunate when they're able to get in the balloon and actually take a flight. That's why the tethers are so important. That's why the balloon walk even. I was up in Rockford the other day at National Night Out, and there were young people, old people, all walks of life. And they walk into that thing and they go, "Oh, I can't believe this is huge.
Yeah.
This is big. Wow, I've never been," but and it's just it's a good experience for people to be involved.
It's certainly not something that they see every day, every year. No. It's truly, like you said, a once in a lifetime opportunity to get to experience it up close.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned the impact on the community and the connection it builds that, none of our competitors have that available to them. And you're absolutely right. And I can tell you this program, I've got some other large corporations that obviously I deal with as well in the ballooning sector. And they're trying to match this program. I mean, they've seen this. They see the impact of this program in the the connections it can make with customers and in communities. And they're very interested in building their own, alike. So RE/MAX has kind of been the pioneer of that. So
yeah, excellent. So I know that you've each taken hundreds of flights, right, throughout the years. Do you have one in the time that you've been with RE/MAX that you want to share that maybe is most memorable to you?
I would think that the one that is the most indelible in my mind is we had purchased the new baskets with the door.
Yeah.
And it was a flight that we landed. It was after the evening flight, landed in Howell in a little subdivision. And the children were, just all coming around. And, and at the end of the flight, we try to get as many people as involved as possible.
Sure.
So I was kind of working with the door and getting people in and out. And, they get in there and they hit the burner and, it's exciting. And these are all little people, right? But their parents are there. And I look out of the corner of my eye and I see a little girl off to the side on the sidewalk in a wheelchair. And that particular flight, my wife was helping. And I said, Amanda, go over and talk to the parents and have them come on over. I said, I have this door. Maybe we can get her in. They came over. The emotion that the father had that exuded back to me when this little girl was able to get in and be a part of what all these other children were doing, was probably the most impactful. And I'm a little choked up right now, but that's the impact that we can have.
Yeah.
And that memory right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's probably the best.
You changed your life through that, but you also changed their life for that. And probably a lot of other people that were sitting there and watching that happen. And since then, and for those that don't know, the RE/MAX balloon basket is intentional that we have a swinging door so that people can go in and out easy. They don't have to climb over a basket. And so since then, we've had a lot of tethers, events that are just for wheelchair people in wheelchairs, so that they are able to experience the hot air balloon.
All inclusive.
Yeah. And it really does impact them and change them and give them something that they didn't think was even possible before.
Right.
So how about you?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously we get a chance to do a lot of that. Every flight has a unique story and so on behind it. But now that he's told that one, I can think of one that stands out. And I believe it was a Michigan International Speedway flyover we did. And I happened to land at I don't know if it's a blind camp or a blind school. But when I landed, the faculty or whatnot came out. We obviously asked for permission to be there, and they were super excited we were there. But they asked, could they bring the blind students out so they could, touch and feel the balloon and experience it. And I remember, we had the door basket. We literally loaded. There was probably 15 total. At different times, we loaded them on and actually were able to tether them about 10 feet into the air. So they got the sensation that they could feel leaving the ground. But obviously they couldn't see. So I was trying to think, through their eyes, how are they perceiving this? And they were blown away. Got a thank you card sent, a month later in the mail from them, that how much that was appreciated and how much the kids are still talking about that and so on. So
How cool.
yeah, I mean, that's the connection that is so important. Pushing the Remax brand and so on.
Absolutely.
Nobody else has anything like this in order to make that connection with the community. So that's really cool to be part of.
Well, those are two great stories for sure. So as you both know, flights are very weather dependent.
Very.
Yeah. Fun times. Can we talk about what decisions or what thought processes you guys have on whether a balloon flight or a tether is a no-go situation?
Yeah. So, but balloon flight is probably the most difficult to pull off.
Yeah.
And again, earlier I was talking about the on-stage presence versus the backstage stuff. When we show up, the agents and brokers see the performance. It's us showing up. We get the balloon out. We set it up. We're good to go. But there's days of planning into each one of these events, watching the weather, making sure we're going to be safe, looking at the flight area, which way is the wind going? Are we going to have landing opportunities if we take off? What's the impact going to be? But variable wise, I mean, everything's got to align with the weather. Wind speeds have to be low. That's not only at the surface, that's upper level winds. There can't be any rain in the area, so no storms nearby. Cloud height, if it's cloud covered, we've got to have a ceiling, they call it. So whatever height the clouds are at, we've got to have a certain height ceiling in order to make it safe to make that flight.
This is all over the head.
So, and that's why Dennis says it's all behind the scenes.
It really is.
Temperature. And recently we had a couple of flights get canceled because of the high temperature.
Yeah.
It's 90 degrees outside. I mean, we simply can't take 2 passengers at those temperatures, and lift that weight in the balloon because the balloon has a max temperature.
Sure.
So the variables, and I'm sure it's frustrating for the agents and brokers. It's just as frustrating for us. We want to fly. I mean, this is what we do. It's what we enjoy. But everything's got to align, and then it's got to be safe. So unfortunately, with Michigan, we do have some areas of the state that are very heavily wooded. And those areas just aren't really conducive for balloon flying. First and foremost, it limits our ability to land. And then the second option of that, or second side of that, is it's not really effective advertising. I mean, if we're flying over an area that's fully covered with trees, the people on the ground aren't going to see us. I mean, they can't see a balloon if they're surrounded by trees. So, it's twofold. But weather-wise, and I think that's what makes ballooning so magical, is when all that stuff finally comes together and you're able to take that flight. I mean, it's simply amazing.
Yeah.
So
cool. So you travel all over Michigan for these events for the region. Is there a particular city or festival that stands out for you?
I tried preparing for this, and I tried thinking about that, and they all stand out for their own reason. I mean, we fly the Bel Air event, which is actually coming up soon. Amazing flight area, very difficult, very wooded. But it's got amazing lakes, Torch Lake, and in the different bays and stuff up there that we potentially would fly near or over. Depending on what the wind conditions are. But then Battle Creek, I mean, that's a huge air show. So it's not just the balloons there. You've got Thunderbirds, Blue Angels, the F-18s, all the people that I idolize, which is funny because they are like super excited when they get a chance to hop on a balloon and they're flying billion-dollar aircraft.
Right.
So
yeah.
But then even the smaller town events are have their own pros and cons too. I mean, those are fun. Agents and brokers tend to be more engaged at those. I think because it's smaller, easier to get access to the launch field and so on. And
yeah, and I think that really does make a difference is when you have the agents and offices involved in the events in their community and what a splash they can make just being present next to you.
It's unmeasurable.
Truly.
You know, one of the little tidbits or stories that I can share is there was an agent that had donated a flight. And I contacted the agent. I said, hey, we're going to do the flight next week, on Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever the date might have been. I'm too busy. I don't have time for that. I said, okay, no problem. I kicked in and, the people that we touched, the people that were involved in the flight, the landing spots, the takeoff spots, the exposure there, that agent missed out.
Right.
That agent really missed out. And
you stepped in.
I did.
And you had to experience that for them.
I think that's one thing, too, about Dennis and I being involved in the business. We understand what impact we can provide and how breaking that ice between the consumer and the agents and how that works.
Yeah. And I think that brings me to my next question is you bring these balloons and your equipment to the local communities. What does it mean to you to serve alongside those offices and brokers and represent RE/MAX for them and with them?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're both very proud to be part of RE/MAX. My entire adult career working has been with companies that have led in the industry that they were in. So RE/MAX, fit right into that category as I entered in roughly 2020 there. So there's a lot of, proudness being with the number one brand in real estate. But I also, what I enjoy about the program and traveling and so on is just meeting the brokers and agents throughout the state. I truly believe RE/MAX has the best people, and not just in our industry. Everybody I meet through this brand and across the state, they're genuinely great people involved in their communities. They care about what they're doing. They have a passion for what they're doing, and they enjoy helping people. And they chose the real estate market and helping people buy and sell homes, and they're very good at what they do.
Yeah. So when you go to these communities and you set up, can you walk us through what that setup process is for an event?
Really depends on what event is selected, right? If it's going to be a parade, well, it's pretty easy. We have to, get the truck washed and make it all nice and clean and shiny and have the right equipment loaded on the truck, ready to go. And then, you have to allow them to get their signage put on the trailer and who's the one that's going to run the burner, and in many of the places we go to now, it's like, I'm the one who's going to run the burner. I've done it for 5 years now, and that's and they get excited about it.
Sure.
And the last one I was in was DeWitt just last weekend, and Jamie Bates had her a daughter and a friend in the basket running the burner. As I'm driving down the road, creeping down through the parade route, I hear, Reagan, hey, Reagan, Reagan, look over here, Reagan. Yeah. So here's a 12, 13-year-old girl running the burner.
Now a celebrity.
Right? And I mean, yes, they're saying, Jamie, great job, this, that. So that the setup, we take it kind of for granted. We have a tether. We were in a Cadillac with a tether. Well, we're at the fair. There's a lot of things going on. And, we're in a pretty limited space. So we have to adapt to what we have to deal with and work with. That's part of what we have to do a lot of times when we're doing our setup is we have to adapt to the situation.
And you have to manage, the people.
The crowd.
As a RE/MAX agent, you might know or have an idea as to what the setup process looks like, but when you're physically there, it might look totally different, right? And you have to adapt and kind of lead the way for everybody's expectations and what to do and when and how to be part of the team, and even during the event and after the event, it's a whole scene. So,
right.
Are there any funny or unexpected moments from past events that you can share?
That was another tough one. I mean, I couldn't really think of an example of. I mean, we had a lot of fun at the events. I'm not so sure
there's one that stands out.
There's one that stands out, or
That's
that it's should be talked about on a podcast.
No worries. So, for someone interested in ballooning, where do they start? What do they do to get into it?
Basically, I think the best advice is for someone to crew. Go out, help their local balloonist or help the local Remax team.
Yeah.
Do their balloon crewing, and essentially people get involved and they just go head over heels over it.
Yeah.
It's pretty addictive, actually. Once you get
for
involved,
a special person.
Sure.
Yeah.
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 Exactly.
And the guys that Dennis has crew for him in Battle Creek, where I help, it's like they got bit, right? They drank the juice, and they are ecstatic just to be there and to help crew and learn more about the sport. And one day they will be up in the balloon and in their own balloon, and
that's how most everybody gets started.
Yeah.
If you ask most of the pilots what the story is behind them becoming a pilot, it's usually a free ride of some sort sparked their interest, or something else did, but it's usually a free ride. And then they offered to help crew. And then once you've crewed for a few years, you start to have that desire that you want to be the guy in the balloon.
Sure. Yeah.
We get all the excitement, and everybody loves us, right?
Yeah. Celebrity status. Celebrity status.
We're big dogs.
Yeah.
But crewing's a lot of fun. I mean, I still to this day enjoy crewing.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's way less stressful than being the pilot. The pilot has all the weight on their shoulders of flying that balloon, making all the right decisions.
Decision making.
Being a crew, you can enjoy the sport and still be part of everything, but you don't have all that stress. Now, you're not on board the aircraft every time, so you don't have that excitement. But that's something that even to this day, I still try and slow myself down while I'm flying.
Right.
Look around and think, wow, this is really cool. I get to do this.
Yeah.
I get to live it through my passengers, because most of them have never been up before. So I see their excitement and hear their comments.
Yeah.
But for us, we kind of take it for granted because we've done it almost 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And people continuously say, well, don't you get bored doing this? It's like, no.
It's an adrenaline rush every time, I'm sure.
Every time, because every time is different.
Sure.
Every situation is different.
Yeah.
You have to have your spatial awareness to know, okay, that's right. I need to land pretty soon because I'm coming up to the national forest.
Yeah.
And if I end up in the national forest, that's not good.
Yeah. Understood. So if you could fly the Remax balloon anywhere in the world, where would it be and why? And you've flown all over Michigan, UP, Lower Peninsula, left, right, up and down. But where would you take it outside of the Michigan borders?
I've had the opportunity to fly in Albuquerque at the big festival.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool. We ended up landing in a ranch up by some unforsaken area that was rattlesnake infested and all that stuff. And it was like, oh, this is cool, but I want to go home.
Yeah.
I want to go back to Michigan.
Yeah.
I think Michigan is just great.
Your sweet spot. Huh?
Yeah. For me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a specific area. I think what would be really cool, like if we could make one thing happen in the Remax balloon, and I know they did it years ago, I think it would be cool to get all the states to send their balloons to a specific area, wherever that may be, and fly 100 Remax balloons at once.
That would be cool.
I saw pictures. I have no idea where it took place or when it took place, long before I was involved. But I just think that would be an awesome opportunity and news story.
Yeah.
To put, 100 balloons that all look alike in the sky.
Imagine.
And do an event of some sort with that.
That'd be a great confusing for the chase crew.
Right.
No, I'm the one over here.
Oh, how fun. So what is next for the RE/MAX balloon events team for 2026? What do you see in the future?
So I think we've really honed in on all the different events to make it as easy as possible to execute. I think continued relationship building with the brokers and agents, making sure they're aware of what the program offers, how it can impact them, how they can utilize it. And really pushing the events, more so than just the balloon flight. Again, the balloon flight is super cool.
Yeah.
We love to do those. But unfortunately, there are areas within the state that it isn't necessarily an option.
Sure.
And it's very unlikely that we would be able to conduct a balloon flight there. But the RE/MAX balloon team has a ton of other options that are of huge value. School programs. I think the school programs this year and last year really started to increase.
Yeah, people have caught on to how
awareness,
fun they can be for themselves, their offices, and the kids and the teachers. They're so appreciative of you guys coming there and teaching the kids all about the sport.
So I would see that continuing to grow. And then, the other options as well. I mean, parades, cold airs, even a walk for any of their local community events.
Yeah.
And not using their credit, not using their opportunity, or even buying extra ones.
Yeah.
I mean, $975. You're going to spend that much on Zillow for, 4 people that are going to ignore you forever after you've showed them a couple houses.
Yes.
Yeah. Why would you not do
unmatched advertising and marketing for yourself and your office? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so where can people find out about the balloon program? Where can they follow along as to where you are? Where can they link up?
So RE/MAX of Michigan has the Facebook page that talks about the different events and shows photos and stuff. I think that's
RE/MAX Above Michigan.
Yep, I think that's a great tool. The agents and brokers can obviously go on to www.abovemi.com to see stuff or to learn more about the events, pricing, and then book their actual date through that website.
And there's a great video tutorial, right, that we went through and did a video on each event that they can watch and understand what
and that's on
what
the
to
website.
Expect, right?
Yep.
That was an awesome thing.
You guys are always at our regional events, and people are able to approach you and ask you questions and talk all things ballooning with you at those events as well. So, okay, great. Well, gentlemen, I think that wraps it up. I appreciate your time and for you coming on to the podcast and sharing your experiences and your journey and what RE/MAX has done for you and what you do for the communities that you come in and serve. So thank you for your time. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Until next time, be sure to join us for our next podcast where we talk with Sean Heelan, Enterprise Manager for Max Tech, powered by Bold Trail at Inside Real Estate. So until then, I'm Kaylee Wilkinson, and this has been another episode of Recharge. Thank you.